This is a little review of everything you should be doing before you write in Task 1 Academic. So remember, at any time you can pause to check the answers and have a think about it. If you're working with a partner, feel free to Skype or however you're communicating with your partner and check the answers at the same time and then come back at the end. I'm not going to give you the answers today, so your job is just to check those answers with your partner all by yourself and wait, and we'll go over them in a future class. So let's start with the first question. What are the 6 most common tasks in Task 1 writing? By the way, lots of these answers will come up in the following questions, so just think about that. And if you're not sure, the answers sort of partly will come up in the following questions. So what are the 3 key steps in pre-writing? I've just got the first letter there for you. You try and guess, or hopefully remember and not guess, what the 3 steps are, what you should be doing. So in the first step, outside, what should you be looking for? What are the key things you should look for? Question 4, synonyms. Which of the 4 band descriptors is considering synonyms going to help you most with? Now, question 5, when you see the time, for example, here we've got 1990. Now, that won't be in a line graph or a bar chart or a pie chart, anything. What does that help you with in your writing? Now, different word forms does help show lexical resource. It's going to help you get a higher mark for lexical resource. So what are some different word forms for the following words there? Another example, just to give you an example, might be patient and patience. Now, we can do the same thing with phrases. So there's 2 examples there. So, for example, you might have people who come from Australia, or Australian citizens would be an example of that. Question 8, we move into step 2 now with the next questions. So question 8, what are the key datas? By that we mean, what numbers should you really be looking for? Now, that would be true in a line graph or a bar chart, tables especially. Those 3 things, a line graph, a bar chart, and a table, because sometimes there's too much data. So what's the key data you should be looking for? This is just an easy yes-no question, should you circle the key data or underline it? How about question 10 here? You should describe everything in processes, maps, and diagrams, but not everything in which Task 1 questions. Moving on to 11. Words like about, roughly, approximately. There's 2 tasks in particular that you should be using them, and especially why should you use them. Question 12, why are articles very important in which 2 tasks? When I say very important, they're not. If you make a mistake, it's not going to cause a huge difference, but it's an easy way to get a high mark by using them accurately. In question 13, what's the differences between to and by? Now, if you're not sure about that, go back and have a look on Facebook, IELTS Steve Facebook. I've got a little video that explains that difference there. And the 3rd step of pre-writing, this is about planning. Should you use paragraphs? Simple question for you there. Pretty easy answer. If you've got that wrong, you may be in a bit of trouble actually. So is it true or false that you should describe from low to high the data in a pie chart, for example, or a table? For 16, sequencing words, firstly, finally, after that, what task are you going to use them in? I'll give you a clue there for 16. The same task, you'd also need to use the passive voice. Sometimes the question 17 there, the general trend is really difficult in one type of Task 1. What might that be? And 18 is about how you combine things together when you're planning your writing. So the idea here is if you've got 2 bar charts, maybe there's 6 or 8 but in a Task 1, but you see 2 that are very similar. Would it be a good idea to combine them together? And with multiple images, usually that's pie charts. Pie charts are the most common thing in IELTS where you get more than 1 image. Should you describe the information within each image first, or should you choose key features and compare between images? And the final question, perhaps the most important, question 20. Doing the 3 pre-writing tasks, which band descriptors is it going to help? So there's a little quiz for you. If you're not sure of any of those answers, then maybe you want to come and have a look at ordering one of my courses, which focuses on Task 1 writing. They are key things to think about when you're doing your Task 1 writing.